This guy has no water in his house, even after paying 40,000 in rent. But okay, it's just one day, right? Or is it? For lakhs of Indians, it's a daily expenditure and a struggle to get even 2 buckets of water. And for those who can't afford to pay, it's just a tap with time foundations and limited supply. So in this video, I'll investigate the issue across 4 different cities. I'll explain how this problem is slowly creeping into your life, into our life, how we're already paying the price, and help you realize it through this cost table. So let's investigate and let me find out. Let's start with, this is the Yamuna flowing right through Delhi, and this supplies water to the entire city. Yamuna is the 4th largest river in India and one of the most polluted. It blows my mind that if it's so polluted, how is it supplying? So then the treatment must be right. Now, to be honest, the Delhi Jal Board actually has a lot of treatment plants. But let's look at the numbers a little more closely. First, it says we have 37 treatment plants, 14 fail to comply. That means out of 3,600 million liters of sewage generated every day, about 2,955 million liters is treated. What you have to remember is that about 640 million liters a day goes untreated because of capacity or quality issues at the plant level, and it drains into, you guessed it, the Yamuna, which is why it's not able to recharge and it's a net negative, and it just keeps compounding. It becomes dirtier and dirtier. Forget about drinkable, the Yamuna isn't fit for bathing, and this is the quality level. There are 19 parameters of samples which are actually failing. Ideally, this should be 0. That's when you know that the river is healthy. No wonder when you go abroad, you see fish inside the river or streams inside the city. But in India, when I travel from Delhi to Noida, I go over this bridge and wahan pe the Yamuna is passing by. And the Yamuna has a lot of jhag, foam. To deal with this, around 7% of Delhiites have found their own hack: bottled water. It roughly costs 2 to 5 rupees per litre, and if one person uses about 4 litres a day of drinking, cooking, that's about 200 to 600 rupees a month, just to feel safe about water. And those who can't afford this premium, they end up paying a special tax called the poverty tax. 93% water is piped water in Delhi. But we know that you don't get 24-hour supply. In many places, the supply is just for a few hours. But now let's think about an unplanned colony, something that's not part of the master plan of the city. So there are no pipes going there. Obviously, it's unplanned and in many cases illegal. The water supply with the pipe does not exist. So the solution becomes these damn tankers. Have you ever seen those water tankers going to do their duty to supply water to some place, and there's always water overflowing and the driver knows that the water is leaking and he does absolutely nothing? The water tanker now sells you the same water at around 200 times the cost of Delhi Jal Board. So when you depend on tankers, the price jumps from 0.5 paise per litre to 1.25 per litre. And if one person uses roughly 2,600 litres a month for all their daily needs, that tanker bill comes to 3,300 every single month. The problem with water tankers is not just a Delhi problem. This happens in every single metro. Even in Chennai, lakhs of people depend on water tankers. But their reason is very different from Delhi's. IIT Madras study reveals presence of forever chemicals in Chennai lakes and drinking water. Now, these are what are called forever chemicals. For a reason, they're almost indestructible and linked to serious health risks. But how did they end up in our lakes? Untreated industrial and domestic waste flows straight into them, carrying all these chemicals with them. On top of that, toxic liquid from waste dumps has been slowly seeping into the lakes too, adding even more of these forever chemicals to the water. Think about this for a second. When you have an RO, which you're spending money on buying, the maintenance, and you feel like it's UV protecting and all those features you bought for is giving you pure, good, drinkable water. It may, but because of the presence of forever chemicals, that RO water cannot actually remove all those chemicals because it is not designed to. You never think that those forever chemicals exist in that water. Ganga in Kanpur, Mithi River in Mumbai, Godavari River, Gomti River, all of them suffer from some kind of pollution. Now, rivers I understand, but what I don't understand is rainfall. I think rainfall is going to be the solution to all of our problems, including the issues that Mumbai is facing. Well, we all know that this happens once the rainwater touches land in Mumbai. Yes, one reason for the streets to look like this is increased rainfall and the 70-year-old drainage system which isn't designed to deal with so much rain. Plus, with the wetlands and mangroves now paved with concrete, this water can only do one thing, right? It can just, flood the streets. Contrast this with something like you look over here in Germany. I actually did not know this. In Germany, the engineers have designed the road that literally almost like drinks the water. So thousands of liters, or rather 4 tons of rainfall in under a minute is absorbed and goes right into the groundwater, recharging it. So the road is good, the water is recharged, and everything is nice. But in places like Mumbai, when the streets, the train tracks look like that, it's you who actually pay the price. A cab, which normally costs 200 rupees, now costs 3 to 5 times more. And let's say there are 3 days in a month during the monsoon season where you end up taking a cab. You will spend nearly 2,500 rupees. You know, all these small expenses add up. And it's not just Mumbai, Bangalore too grapples with this issue. Look at this over here. You look at the blue line, which shows how much extractable groundwater is possible, and the red line, which shows how much we are extracting. Look at this Bangalore rural. The red is actually higher. That means we're extracting more than what is actually available. On the other hand, the same thing is true for Bangalore urban. We are over extracting what we can from the water table. And because of this, we're hitting a dead end. This will not fix on its own. But the solution the cities have is this. They'll dig deeper, extract the water, and the water that does come out is this. 600 milligrams per liter. That's the TDS of the water. Twice the safe limit. And this problem has actually spawned a new industry, the water softener industry, where you buy something at an industrial level or for your home, and these machines look massive in your balcony, don't look pretty either. And while these ones cost upward of 15,000 rupees, let's assume you use these small ones which fit on your shower heads and taps. Now the cost of these is somewhere around 3 to 4,000. Say you get 2 of them installed in your washroom. It'll cost about 170 rupees a month. And let's not forget the cost of filters, which you will have to change every 6 months. So that's also a recurring added expense. You know, the problem with us humans is that we only see the next week or the next month. We forget about the second or third order problem of things. Now, I live in Noida. Noida has hard water, which means the chrome on my car actually has become black. The taps blacken very easily, all of these things and fixtures blacken very quickly. Another problem is that you might get skin or hair irritation. So you might go to your dermat, the dermat might give you something else. Maybe someone's skin is very sensitive, you have to buy those lotions, and they always sell you expensive stuff, as it should be perhaps. But these are things you probably have no choice but to spend on every year. Because if the water you're consuming isn't good, you'll probably end up spending lakhs of rupees in a hospital for something that you don't even know is connected to the quality of the water in your life. I want you to think about it. Medical inflation is going up way more than even Nifty. So it's going to cost more. Your health is the best kind of investment you can make in yourself. So you have to invest about 79,000 rupees in all these things here. The problem isn't कि पानी नहीं है. It's not like there is no water. The water exists. We saw river source, we saw the rainfall source. The problem is we don't give a shit. We aren't managing the water properly. We have to be looking at actually storing it, using it, caring about this. Actually, people watching this video do not know what I'm talking about. You yourself are not paying 50 times the water fee. You yourself are not seeing dirty water yet.